So, why don't you tell me how each of you died? I'll document it, and it might make you guys feel better to talk about your death. Let's see. My husband walked out on me, and then, afterwards, he stabbed me. Over and over. At least your boss wasn't throwing a party, and then all his guests got drunk, and then stabbed you with a beer bottle. Being a hostess sucks. Ha! Ha! So, you find that funny, do you? No, I don't find that funny. I find it tragic, just like my own death. Would you care to share how you died, please? Each of you. I want the whole story, not the little details. Wait, no, I want every little detail. It was a dark night 5 years ago, and my boss was throwing a party, and he asked me to be the hostess. Seeing as I couldn't say no, I went and I dressed in my best dress. And then my boss got drunk, and then he broke a beer bottle, and he's like, "Everyone, watch this." And then he stabbed me, and everyone started to laugh. And I started crying, and I fell to the floor. I begged him to stop. He just stabbed me again. He kept stabbing me until I was dead. And that's the last thing I remember of that night. When I woke up, I was somewhere else. I'm sorry, that's very sad. No one deserves that type of fate. As I understand, Lily, your husband, you guys said "I do," and then after that he ran out of the ally, and outside he was waiting with his friends with a knife. Would you care to share about that? Ah, yes, my wedding day, the last day of my life. The last day I breathed, the last day my heart beat it. My heart was pounding so hard, I was about to walk up the aisle, and then I heard, "Here comes the bride," go on. I took a deep breath and I started up the aisle. I was smiling and probably crying at the same time. Like I said, it was the last time I ever felt any emotion. And there he was, at the end of the aisle, just smiling. An evil smile. I didn't understand the smile. When I reached the end of the aisle, the priest said our vows, repeated them to each other, and then we put the rings on each other and said, "I do." And they said, "You make his bride." But then my new husband ran down the aisle. Running after him was the biggest mistake of my life, because there he was with a big group of his friends and a knife. He just smiled and chuckled and said, "I do." And then he started to stab me. I begged for him to stop, to be correct, but he kept going, and then I was dead. I felt my heart stop beating. What kind of husband is he if he kills his bride right after he says "I do"? No one deserves that kind of fate. I feel very sorry for you. Now, Sarah, why don't you tell us what happened to you? I see you have tons of stitches on your arm. Ah, that night. The night I decided to take the late shift at the hospital. See, my boss called me and he told me the other nurses didn't want to work that night. They said they had something to do. So I decided, being the nice soul I am, to come in, I guess. Yeah, that was the last shift I ever did at that hospital. See, when I came in, my boss was standing there with the other two nurses that were supposed to take the night shift. They were dead. I started to freak out. He came towards me, taunting me. "Don't worry, Sarah. I'm going to send you to a better place." I started to freak out more. I was all like, no, don't touch me. He came over with a giant power saw, which was from the operating room. He cut me and the rest of the other two nurses up, and then he stitched us together, trying to bring us back to life. See, he thought he was going to make some nice new type of nurses in the hospital, but it didn't work out for the other two. I just came back to life. Well, I guess my soul was strong enough to stay on the planet forever or something like that. Wow, a lot has happened to you guys. I feel very sorry for you all. You guys all have very tragic deaths. I'll analyze this data and see why your guys' souls weren't put to rest in peace for all of eternity, but yet you guys roam the earth. I'll get back to you guys.